Welcome to the Exposer. Today we'll be exposing Spac Nation's own Pablo Escobar of frauds. Her name is Pastor Mariam Mola. She was born in August 1989, which makes her 30 years old. For many of you guys that don't know, Mariam is the most powerful female in Spac Nation when it comes to fraudulent activities. She's even more powerful than the main pastor's wife. This is a lady with a history of criminal conviction. This is a lady that has served time in jail over and over again. Before I get into exposing Mariam, let me show you guys a video of Mariam on Periscope. This Periscope I'm about to show you will just show you guys the type of things that Mariam gets up to at Spac Nation. This won't be the main and the most important things because there's a lot more to expose to come after I show you this video. So let's get into this Periscope.
I'm looking at you like you're a non-giver. Why are you greeting me? I'm not gonna have a relationship with you because you don't sow. There is no reason for us to speak. What are we talking about? What are we meeting in? Right. There are two swords. The first sword I need to see you hold is the one you're gonna use to kill yourself. And the second sword is the one you're gonna use to go to war in. I don't need 500 girls living in a house with me or 50 girls living in a house with me. I just need disciples, 10 or 12 with me who understand call and assignment. They understand that they don't have their own life. These things sound very cruel in the church. I don't need 50 or 500 girls that have their own mind, that know what to do with their own salary. No, I'm looking at a kind of woman that is going to produce finances. I said to my girls this morning, I don't know what you think is happening in this house. I tell you what to do with your finances. I tell you where you're going. It's not like you have an option. If you have an option as you're leaving the house, yes sir, as you're leaving the house, drop your key in the letterbox. As I was putting together a new order for finances for the house, I began to say to them, yeah guys, I need you to tell me what you're earning. Somebody said, oh PM is intrusive. Hello? Is my daughter gonna tell me that is Chloe gonna tell me that I'm intrusive? Is a Pastor Maria gonna tell me that I'm intrusive? What are you talking about? I need to invade in your private life. We're gonna share the bed. We're gonna share these finances. You're gonna tell me how much you're earning. She's gonna tell you how much she's earning. If we sit down, if I have 10 girls that are living with me and they all go to work, will I struggle to pay my rent and give seed? Will I struggle to go? You won't even struggle to buy clothes. Look, there's a new order. What is the order? What is the order? The order is I want 50 soldiers. I don't want to fool myself and say, oh yeah, there's 100 people that are ready. No, because we're not ready yet. The 100 are still sleeping. Let me raise 50. If those 50 people, I had to ask a question to my leaders yesterday. And the question was very sincere. I don't have time because I've got to get ready. I'm going to drop this in 10 minutes. I had to ask the question. And the question was very clear. I said to my leaders, as a pastor, are you telling me you've been in the nation under the word for 3 years, 2 years, 1 year, 6 months? You look, I came into Spac Nation. I heard the word for a month and I started doing my thing. I don't know about you guys. I came to Spac Nation and within month 1 of hearing Pastor, because I've been in church, I've heard poison. So when I heard the truth, I ran with the truth. Month 1, my giving journey started that week. What are you talking about? I didn't start mobilizing today. I didn't start giving today. I heard the truth. The truth came and set me free from the lies I've been hearing in my head. I'm beginning to look. Let me tell you something now. It is what is the word I'm going to use? It is a disrespect in the highest regard to the word. If you are a leader, if you are a pastor, and you don't have 10 people that you speak to, hear me well. You don't have to like what I'm saying. I don't care if you like what I'm saying. My boldness has gone. It's almost like I'm going back now. The Mariam I kept quiet because I didn't want to offend people. She's back. Yeah? Let me help you. If you are a pastor, and this is not about now going to snatch people to raise, there are enough people, new souls, sitting at the back waiting for you to get up from the front row. We don't even like your dress anyway, so we don't want to see it in the pictures. Get to the freaking back. Speak to the souls in the back of the church that are crying every day and they're looking for a leader. You have too much independence. Your independence is making you poor. Your mind is... One of my girls said to me, Ma, I had a vision. So what's the vision? She said, I had worms in my head. I had so many worms in my head, and the first thing I decided to do is say, okay, and how I know she's my daughter, because she thinks like me. So I don't mind having worms in my head. I'm just going to take your head. Yeah, I don't have a problem coming from a failure of a background. My parents are not rich. I'm just going to go and get new parents. My mom don't know how to speak the word. I'm just going to take Pastor Lucy as my mom. I don't mind coming from a bad background. I don't mind coming from a poor background. I'm just going to take a new mind. Female pastor, you are not bold enough to have at least 10 people that can hear your voice and can give you £100 a week. £100 a week here is freaking benefits. Benefits, £100 a week. If I have 50 female leaders who have 10 soldiers each, that's 50 bags. I don't even need to entertain the rest of the church. But the women are still afraid. They're still worried about what sister so. Let me tell you something now. If you're not raising that soul, I'm gonna raise her for you. If you're not raising that guy, I'm gonna raise him for you. I'm not gonna raise him for you by telling him, oh, come and sit in Pastor Mariam's house. Or I'm not even in my house that much. I'm gonna inspire so much to a point where your souls are just gonna flock to me. I'm going to inspire so much. I'm going to dominate my mountain so much that footballers are going to come to me. I'm going to take the piss on my ground so much that souls are going to want to run to me with their finances. As a female leader, I'm wondering what is wrong with you. I said, okay, look, guys, there's a new giving structure coming out. I need 15 people to nominate themselves as a 1K giver. The first person to nominate themselves was a 20-year-old boy. I lost hope, guys. In my group chat with my family, I lost hope. I looked at all the female pastors and I said, why are you scared? Is it because you don't have the money in your account? Let me tell you something now. Every single time PT and Bankside will call for givers, £300, £500, trust me, I never had the money. I stood up in faith that I will have the money. I don't care how many, and I will send abusive messages like, guys, if you don't have the money, don't put yourself forward, because I'm going to come for you and I will come for you. Still put yourself forward. By not putting yourself forward, you're saying I will never have 1K. Do you know that's what you're saying? By not putting yourself forward, how can there be a call for finances and you don't put your name down? And I see someone like, I'll be very honest with you. When I see Charlie's name come up on my phone as a giver, I get angry. Who is this 20-year-old white boy that's coming to take everything? Who is this kid? When I see Jaden Fothergill, I told him I'm not putting you on no line. Stop calling me and telling me you want to be a line leader. When Basola will sleep with me in a bed for like 6 months and I will shout at this girl every day. You are not praying. Do you want to die in your sleep? The things I will say to Basola is, you're going to die in your sleep. Better get up and pray. I should be crying, or she'll hate me, or she'll go to her mum's house. I don't care. You want to sit down and sleep, and Pastor Obi's praying and you're sleeping? You will die if you don't find that money. It's not like, oh, let's feel bad, she started it. Start something else and bring more money. I'll even be happy because I'll be the one counting the bread. I'm not concerned about what somebody's gonna say. I'm looking at the lines and I'm wondering, why will you not put your name forward? Guys, okay, we need to be really careful about giving. Like, we've given so much and we owe a £250,000, by the way, in a year. What I really want us to do is really think about it and, put some structure on how we're going to pay debt. I sat my girls down all on Thursday, called the debt collectors, reduce your debt. They're now all paying £50 a month. Some of them are paying £1 a month. Yeah, not going to be bound to that. And you're going to sow everything. And then when Auntie Lucy calls you, you take that call. And whatever she tells you to do, we all do that. I'm not the voice. I'm just giving the instruction. You will go to school. You will go to work. And as you're going to school and as you're going to work, your finances. Not only do I know your finances, I've made it worse for them. 3G. I've made 3G the head of finance for the house. Oh yeah? Goodness come. Everybody be submitting your salaries to a 3G. I don't care. The Kardashians, we all know what Chris earns, what Kim earns, what the other one earns. I forgot their names. I'm not in the world. There is a transparency. They fight on finances on TV. Can we fight on money? Can we fight on money, on real money? Can we fight on real money? And settle? Because we're going to sow it all. Don't fight me on £500. As sisters, you're not ready to unify it. A line that was raising 1k, 5k, 10k. And I remember when my line raised 20k. Not only did I raised 20k for my line, and I raised 20k for my leader. I said, before I raise my own seed, I must raise PO's line. And I remember this time, the first time I built a line, my leader was not feeling well. I said, I took over PO's line. I went in the group chat. Imagine adding yourself to a Pastor Oni's group chat. And the people in that group chat is like Dr. Emma, Pastor James, people that like you don't have relationship. And I mobilized 20k. And then I went on my own chat. In a day, mobilized 20k. I remember sitting on my bed in a 1-bedroom flat with Bookie and I think Pastor Kim, and we just started counting. And I'm like, God, oh my God. And I was shaking. And I then knew the power of being commissioned to do a work. I can't remember the last time I'd have to message Pastor Sam and say, sir, I want to do PO, trying to mobilize. Is it possible that you guys can all bring 1k? Why? I've been commissioned. As Christ was commissioned, I have been commissioned as a leader, as a woman, to raise finances. It is not fair that I'm leaving the work to others.
She basically exposed herself. The reason she exposed herself was because of anger. Because the church is under attack. Because the church is no longer making what they're used to making. So she said some key and important things in that video. She began by saying, don't even talk to her. Don't say hello to her if you don't give money. That's what she said. She said she needs to know everything about these young girls that live with her. They must declare the salary. She needs to know exactly what goes in and what goes out. She said basically it's her rules. She said a lot of things that's quite astonishing. She used the word there's a new order, which means the leader of the church has told them what they must do to raise money. She also mentioned key points where she said, in a house where the young girls live in, if any of them want to talk back, if any of them don't want to give, basically just drop the keys and leave the house immediately. She also said to members of the church, the leaders of the church, they don't need to go outside of the church anymore to try and bribe people. She said there's enough people in the church that they just need to get themselves to the back of the church and get these young men to commit to Spac Nation. She also mentioned that she has a 250k debt. Well, she claims the young people that live with her have a 250k debt. This tells you that she has made these young people take out loans. Because she mentioned they're called the debt collectors and she herself is paying a small amount of money. Well, she's making them pay a small amount of money to the debt collector each month. And she also mentioned the rest of the money that the people earn must all go to Spac Nation. So she made these young people in the church, or the young people that are under her leadership, to take out X amount of loans. The pressure has got under her skin, so she decided to call the debt collectors just to make them repay some of the loan. But she's also committed in making these young people give 90% of their salary to Spac Nation. This is how corrupted this woman is. She also said she runs lines, which is something that goes on in Spac Nation, which is run like a company. She said each leader in the church has a line which contains a certain amount of people, and the people in the lines must give a minimum of £100 every week. And she said that the guys that she's running also need to have people under them giving £100 every week. So this is a pyramid, and she will get a cut of what everyone gets, and majority will go to Spac Nation. This is what is going on in Spac Nation. This is how the system of loan is being used in Spac Nation, because people under her will get other young members to take out loans, and they would receive the money, give it to Mariam. Mariam will take some of the money and give the rest to Spac Nation. So this is what's going on. This is disgraceful. Mariam is dictating these young people's lives. She's controlling them. This is almost like a concentration camp for these young kids. Before they eat, before they go out, before they can even use their own money, they must ask Mariam. This woman is evil. Let me show you what Mariam has been up to in her past life. In 2016, Mariam appeared on television. She told a story of how she gave birth in jail, of a crime she committed 10 years ago in regarding to fraudulent activities. She also mentioned how she was in a relationship, and the guy who she was with was the guy that was influential in her doing these things. So her story was touching, and many people in the UK came to support her. They felt that her story would influence a future generation. Her story, which was shared with millions of morning television viewers, provided Mariam with the springboard to start a company offering mentoring to women who were willing to pay up to £200 to attend events at glamorous locations, such as the Balgowrie Hotel in Knightsbridge, London, the Burberry flagship store in the capital. She also had Amanda Wakely, a very big fashion designer whose clothes are regularly worn by the Duchess, is a supporter of Mariam's Mental Matcher, which is a company that she launched online. Later on, it was discovered that Mariam lied about most of the things that she discussed. The Daily Telegraph disclosed that Mariam Mola's claims are not all they appear to be. That in fact her real name is Mariam Mbula, so she changed her surname. And on one occasion, she preyed on a woman with a Down syndrome daughter in order to trick her family out of more than £15,000 by posing as a foreign office official. Mbula also used different names to scam other people. And also, she was far from innocent when she was 18, where she was caught up in a single crime perpetrated by an older boyfriend. Mbula was a career con artist who had been jailed not only in the UK but also in Belgium and Spain. She was also wanted on suspicions of leading a crime gang in Italy. In total, Mariam has at least 13 convictions for 34 offences. 27 of those are for fraud and dishonesty. Mariam is from East London, and she most recently received a 24-month suspended sentence in Southwark Crown Court on July 1st, 2016. She pleaded guilty to the 3 counts of frauds following her arrest in November 2014. The court also heard that on July 17, 2013, Mariam had dishonestly made a false representation claiming to be an official from the British consulate in Spain. She had been jailed in Spain for fraud, and whilst in prison, she befriended a cellmate who was a British woman who had 2 daughters in the UK, and one of them had Down syndrome. Mariam was freed before her cellmate, and then Mariam contacted her cellmate's family in Britain, posing as an embassy official. She telephoned one of the daughters of the cellmate and explained that because her sister had Down syndrome, her mother was eligible for early release, and all she had to do was deposit £15,600 in a bank account as surety, and the mother would be released. It was of course a scam. Then in August 2014, Mariam was at it again. This time she claimed to be working with Nike, the sportswear company. She told her victim she could make the woman's daughter the global face of a brand. The victim gave Mariam £11,400. A few months later, Mariam again conned her victim out of £18,214.96 by selling her numerous designer clothes which she never delivered. A further set of alleged offences were allowed to remain on file, including swindling a number of women over a designer shoe business called Cindy's Shoes, which she set up in 2014. One of the victims, which is called Natasha Bendel, 32 years old, mother of three, told the Telegraph how Mariam, going by the name of Cindy, had taken more than £655 from her for Christian Louboutin shoes that she had hoped to wear on a wedding day. The shoes never arrived and Mariam vanished with the money. "She is a total crook," said Mrs. Brendel from Reading. Mrs. Brendel was staggered to see Mariam appear on a daytime television using the name Mariam Mola, describing how she had turned her life around after giving birth in jail in May 2015. Mariam told her interviewer that she had been caught up in the fraud committed by a former partner almost a decade ago. She was in a bad relationship at the time, Mariam told the reporter. And she said the person she was with committed some fraud activities, and because she was involved in that crowd, she was later sentenced in a heavy prison sentence when she was expecting her first baby. It also claimed she repeated in the newspaper and also a series of mental matcha events, which is a company that Mariam owns, that there is no suggestions of any wrongdoing by the mental matcha. Another victim, Chamina Dixon, 29, was also astonished by the claims that Mariam had stolen $1,600 from her mother, promising to buy her cheap flights to Jamaica to visit Miss Dixon's sick grandmother. Mariam took the money, but the airline tickets never materialized. Mariam did give birth in a UK prison after being jailed in May 2015 at Basildon Crown Court. She had been arrested in February the previous year by Essex Police for a series of credit and bank card frauds committed between March 2010 and June 2011. It had taken time for police to catch up with her because she was serving prison sentences in Spain and Belgium prior to her arrest on her return to the UK. Mariam, when approached by the Telegraph at the Bulgari Hotel, she declined to comment. She also failed to respond to email requests for her comments that she had made on TV. A spokesman for Amanda Wakely, which is a big fashion designer, said that the fashion designer was approached by Mariam at the start of the year and that Wakely had decided to support her mentoring company. Other entrepreneurs had also joined in, said Miss Wakely's spokesman. When the Telegraph pointed out all of the convictions of Mariam, later on, Miss Wakely refused to comment on whether she would be endorsing Mental Matcha, which is the company owned by Mariam, any longer. Just tells you everything you need to know about Mariam. This is a woman who served time in jail in Italy, in Belgium, and in the UK. So she's done time in jail in 3 different countries. She has scammed so many people. She has been exposed. Newspapers have exposed her. The victim have exposed her. And here we have Spac Nation, who take Mariam in, ordain a person like Mariam as a pastor. And as you saw on the Periscope, this is the type of message she sends to her people in a place that's meant to be regarded as a church. This woman has no remorse. She will continue to scam for as long as she can scam. Clearly it shows she doesn't mind spending time in jail because she's done that for most part of her life. Here I'm about to expose the businesses that Mariam has opened. Because Mariam has opened many businesses. And as you know, this is a thing that goes on at Spac Nation. Most of the leaders will open up businesses, take up business loans, and close the company. But before they'll close the company, they would get a lot of people to invest in those businesses. And once Spac Nation or the members who open the businesses cannot afford to pay back the investors, they will dissolve the company. And this is what they'll tell the members that have invested in the company. So Mariam opened up 5 companies in the past under the name of Miss Mariam Mola. 5 companies who were never active. She opened and closed them immediately. She gave herself a role as director. These companies made 0 money. That's because behind the scene, what Mariam was doing was holding meetings with people and telling them that she owns these companies and asking for a share. Once these lot transferred her money directly into her bank account, she would close the business. She done that with 5 companies which no longer exists. So Mariam today has 3 active companies. One of them which is Mental Matcha Online, where she's director, which opened on the 5th of November 2018. The other one is Alpha Nursery Limited, which opened on the 5th of November 2018, where she's director also. And she has East London Childcare, which was opened on the 22nd of October 2018. But as you can see, the first 2 companies are listed go under the same address, which is somewhere in Southend-on-Sea. Mariam is still doing her illegal stuff. This woman has been scamming people for decades and decades. She has served prison time in 3 different countries. This is a woman who has a reputation as a scammer. She has scammed so many people. 34 times this lady was arrested. 34 times. 27 convictions. This is a woman who is one of the most important members of Spac Nation. This is a woman who Pastor Toby wants by his side. What does that tell you about Spac Nation? And can you not see the system of opening up businesses online? Businesses which never blossoms. Businesses which never makes profits. This is a woman who is scamming and destroying the young and black community. She is extorting young people. She has ruined a lot of lives. She is by far one of the most active fraudsters in Spac Nation. And she has no remorse and doesn't plan to stop at any time. She needs to be exposed. We need to continue to expose people like Mariam. We need to raise awareness and continue to expose this church. And I will continue to do so. So this is the exposing of Spac Nation female Pablo Escobar, Mariam.